player. And some of the guys said, you should do that. Football fighter, a good financial head start for me, but I was looking for other opportunities. The competitive aspects of professional. Free spirit personality that I was, wrestling was very attractive in that sense also. I looked into it in the off season. Like I said, I played for Tampa and I bought a home there. I was married at that point, my wife Becky, and I ended up walking championship wrestling in Florida.
Okay, welcome back to Greenland to 2038. We're going to play some more Last of Us now. We finally figured out what chat is. If anybody watches, then they'll put a chat on the right side. Yeah, so now I have my square back the way I used to like it. So yeah, on. I'm off. So we're gonna see. We're gonna play where we were, and yeah. I just found out something else too. I might just go back to my old friggin' PlayStation camera. I don't know. I might just keep this as a backup, but I found out you can use the PlayStation 4 camera on PS5, so yeah.
This is Championship Wrestling from Florida. And for the next hour, I'll guarantee we'll get a lot.
So tell you the truth, I don't like this format much. I mean, first of all, I miss my talking through my microphone to my friends anyway, so the way it used to be. So, I mean, this is all right. I might just pick it up on Thursday. I don't know, but we'll see.
My favorite TV show was #1 on television back then was Tom Selleck and Magnum P.I. Everyone just called it Magnum. Well, if he can be called Magnum, I was trying to be creative. I should be called Luger, which is a German firearm.
Put the camera on, man. Put the camera on, Luger! My man, George.
So you got first name? I go, well, yeah, Lex. Lex Luthor was a villain in the comic books, so I said Lex Luger.
Here's Lex Luger.
I was excited about the opportunity of wrestling. I thought it might be a lot of fun. It kind of worked out pretty good.
So we're getting closer now. It's 26 days, I think, 24 days. I don't know what the heck it was for Last of Us Part 1 now. So, yeah, I'm happy. I am happy that we are seeing it now, and it's getting closer to Last of Us Part 1 now. So we're going to have fun when we play that. Yeah, it's going to be great. So like I said, I'll probably play a little bit more of this. We'll probably play a little bit more of this too, still.
He was new. He had his own mind about it. But I guess most guys were until they learned the trade.
There it is.
My debut was my first time ever been to a live pro wrestling match.
Okay, I see it.
That's how little I knew about it.
There has Van Luger and his man has been into the turnbuckle.
She'll have to try to do the surgery before Owen has
That's right. He's the one that kind of led me into trying to start a career
These rapids are
in
worth their
professional
weight.
wrestling. And I'm very grateful to him.
I know how to swim,
Came in
right?
and kind of changed the stereotype of what people perceive professional wrestlers to look
Got
like.
confidence.
Lex Luger was one of the most physically impressive guys to get in the wrestling business in the 80s. The problem was he had never been a wrestling fan and didn't know anything about it. But he had amazing genetics, an incredible physique. Arnold
We got two more. We got 2-8. So we're gonna wait till we get a little bit more than that.
So he was immediately pushed to the top.
Presently, the Southern Heavyweight Champion and Florida Television Champion, here he is, Lex Luger.
Really big touchdown there was like pretty
Oh!
I only had 6 matches in my job. I didn't even know enough about wrestling to appreciate
I
that.
know how to jump.
I just started my wrestling career when we had Brian on January 1st in 1986.
Crap, that was weird. Fell down a friggin' falls. Oh, well, we don't have to worry about going that way then.
It was incredible.
Luger comes up here, all that.
for this
As a
business.
traveling world champion, I worked different
Have you
territories.
been to Sky Bridge
One of the
before,
territories
right?
was the Florida territory. I
You're gonna
flew
see a lot
in,
of scars?
so they say we're gonna hit here. We just started.
I don't know.
We want you to wrestle for an
It'll be
hour.
okay if they
Every
do.
corner of the country has wanted to see this match between Ric Flair.
Yeah, but
It's billed as the present champion, good champion versus the future champion.
First time I laid eyes on Rick, he pulled up with that custom suit and the sunglasses and the gold and the Rolex watch. I was real nervous, but man, I was all in, man. Now I want to be like him. He was style and profile. At that stage in my life, I would want to be like Rick.
watch the glass.
I've got him up. Wow. You're great. Yeah, this guy looks like $1 million. I mean, one of the top 5 physiques in all the time I've been in the business. I said, listen to the champ. That's all his job was. Flair was a veteran and Lulu was a rookie.
Luger bringing him out, pressing him over his head. That little side once again on the champion, on the challenger, Lex Luger, and Lex Luger can feel it.
And Flair made it look like $1 million.
He's picking up the cross. Tremendous strength of Lex Luger.
I'm fine.
And I was so mad.
I said I'm
It
fine.
wasn't his fault at all, but when you're green and can't do anything, it just goes on, right?
It is a draw, and Ric Flair retains the World Heavyweight Championship.
Learn how to fly and learn how to work different things. But next time I get to Crockett, which is my home territory, I told Jimmy, I said, yeah, see this kid with him, man, he's built phenomenal, played football, legit athlete.
How long have you two been on the run for?
Back
2
in
days.
the 80s, Jim Crockett Promotions grew to a national power. We were bringing in young talent that we thought had,
You did?
matched it up with some of the old guys so that the young guys could learn. Luger, he's got a great body, he's got great potential, he just needs some experience.
So
Jimmy
what
said,
do you do?
well, he said, the Horseman thing is red hot. We are, woo, the 4 Horsemen. We're talking about the cream of the crop, the most successful group of wrestlers anywhere in the world. The 4 Horsemen, Flair, Tony, Arn, Ole, and myself. If there was one person whose personality didn't seem to fit in with everybody else's, it probably would have been Ole. If we were going to spin somebody off, that Ole would have been the one to spin off. And we basically kicked him out. We could bring Lex in and protect him by putting him in another group that's going to help speed up the process and take some of the pressure off. And that's what happened. Mr. Lex Luger is officially the 4th Horseman. You know, here's a fresh guy coming in. God, he does look good. He's a new face. Because he's so, yes, right here is the finest physical specimen in professional sports
Sure was.
We can help bring him along, and he's receptive because he realizes that he's stepping into an enviable situation that other guys would die for. He was the right place, the right time.
I knew about the 4 Horsemen, but I didn't realize how big a group they were.
What's going on in this room?
My association with them and the rub we called, I got off all those guys that skyrocketed my career and really launched it.
My kind of man. His style, his profile, and most of all, he likes.
One that really patterned myself after Gage. Asked him if I could row one of those ropes. He let me go to his rope girl. She made me a glittery robe.
There he is, the double backing.
I was definitely a different lifestyle, flying in private jets, or first class, and stayed in nice hotels. And went to the gym together, we hung out together, and socialized, and had beers, and had fun.
He had a Rolex for between his arms, and it was
I really did for my trying to get outside, but he was a great guy. But one guy, Tony, JJ, guys, at that early stage, I was just scared out of my years.
Lex Luger was officially
Hey, big guy.
Come on, guys.
He got the first guaranteed contract that Crockett had given out. Crockett was saying, okay, Vince McMahon's my only competition. Lex Luger looks perfect for Vince McMahon, so I've got to get him first. This did not go over well with anybody else in the locker room, because Luger was a totally unproven commodity. All the other guys, the veterans, they had to work against him. They had to work as his partner. They had to cover up for this so he could go out and flex and pose.
Larry was tough to work with. He was so stiff and so uncoordinated. The company was really babysitting Luger. They liked the persona that they saw, and they thought that they could market that different than wrestling. There was so much jealousy and animosity that went on. A lot of beers went down over his contract. I guarantee that right down the road was not pleasant. But you guys get paid double what you are.
That water's picked up a lot of speed.
Rivalry between WCW and WWE completely changed the industry. Networks fighting each other on live television. So it was shocking. What you see is what you get. You guys took over.
I said, is there like a money on this contract? And Jim Crockett kind of looked at me like, well, no. We don't give a guaranteed contract. There's not like anything in there like our football contract, so I was looking at a football contract was structured. Jim Crockett was like, well, what do you want in that contract? I gave him a figure, and he agreed to it. And I had $1 million+ guaranteed contract, which I didn't realize was...
Good, man. Perfect. Good.
Lex was an egomaniac. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. This form of entertainment, you don't have the drive to do it, you're not going to do it. The bottom line is, I'm the best at what I do. Lex had the ability for the fans to hate him, love him, and withdraw numbers and people. But could have been a lot better if he learned to work with people and not think 100% of himself. My first impression of Lex Luger was when I was a C-Squad announcer tapping cleanup for Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone. My name is Eric Bishop. At the time, I was like, man, that's one arrogant son of a bitch.
This is perfection each and every time you see it in your arena.
It's really easy to understand how someone develops into that kind of a personality. Ever since I stepped foot in the wrestling business, I've had people around me telling me that I'm going to be the next big thing.
If I got the praise, I got the look, it's the tools, the tank. Where's my walk?
I think it was perceived as being arrogant. He's a genuinely good guy. If I looked like that guy, I might have been really hard to live with too.
Physically just put together like no one else, had a body like no one else. And I said, how do you stay in such incredible condition? I mean, you're jacked. And he just real casually and nonchalant, like with just total disrespect. He didn't even look at me. He just stood there and said, yeah, I drink Stoli and I eat M&Ms. I went, oh, all right. But we got close. I mean, it was my age, and we had a lot of things in common. We were a new generation of guys coming up who wanted to have the physiques. We wanted to look the part. So we ended up traveling down the roads together.
It started mainly our relationship with how to treat him properly and work out, because he loved working out. Then we started hanging together all the time.
How much higher are you
Friends were
going?
friends, hung out together, we were neighbors.
I ended up moving into the same neighborhood that he had moved into.
Moved some gyms together, did really well.
And he loved to train. And he loved to watch his body change and grow and, get lean. And not only did he try to keep that physique going, but he learned how to work. He really did.
He did great, and he looked the part, and the Four Horsemen thing worked out great with him. And then working against him was great.
When I finally left the Horsemen, be able to one-on-one program one of the greatest wrestlers ever lived, Ric Flair.
This is the exit with the two best that the NWA has facing one another.
Crowd and fans were really into it. We had like sellout crowds everywhere we went.
We're put in a position of drawing money, and we did a lot. We worked his ass off. He left me 9 7.
Yep.
He did anything that was asked of him, and he worked hard.
It took about 5 years, but Lex got to be a talented performer in the ring. At the same time, where Turner Broadcasting took over the company from Crockett, and all business went to 12.
When they sold the company to Turner, I was so miserable that they wanted me to lose the title to Luger and Baltimore. I said, I would be more than happy to. I said, the belt's mine. I owe an bonus paid me for the deposit for the old days. You guys owe me 25 in interest for 10 years. So what am I going to do? Hand them the belt? Knowing I'll never get paid? So I went to WWE to work for Vince in 91. He just said, send me the belt. No way it went. This is history.
Rick had just left. He had actually taken the big gold belt with him, so I never wrestled Rick.
Whatever, fuck ass.
Barry Windham, and the cage match I was a substitute. We didn't even have a real belt made yet. They made kind of a fake belt. They made the best of a difficult situation.
He's got enough of the call truck. And there he planted it. Luger with the call truck. He's hooked the leg. And Luger wins it. Lex Luger has won the WCW Championship.
Welcome, person, to my broadcast.
Lex was very frustrated. We were all very frustrated
You okay?
because we were always.
Feel free to write a message if you want.
We'd always hear the stories. Yeah, you gotta jump ship. You gotta go. The grass is greener. But man, what an incredible place. And Lex was lured into that. He had to get out. He was world champ, but he was looking beyond. He was looking at the ultimate. And at the time, it was WWE.
So I reached out to WWE and worked out a deal with the bodybuilding program for a year.
You know the guy who was one of the creative rivals, Joe Weider's bodybuilding. That's created the WBF, the World Bodybuilding Federation. And he wanted Lex to be a part of this WBF.
What is the World Bodybuilding Federation? It's about looking good, feeling great.
Okay.
It's about sports entertainment.
Had a year left on my contract. WCW, and I went to WCW and said I'd like some time off. Didn't tell them I was planning on signing a bodybuilding contract. The total package Lex Luger has it all, whether it's arms, shoulders, chest.
There was nothing in Lex's contract with WCW that prevented Lex from going to work for the WBF, the Bodybuilding Federation.
Impressive.
So Lex came in as the bodybuilding guru, or fitness guru, if you will.
Nobody knows better than me, Lex Luger. It's important not only to look good in the gym, but outside the gym as well.
To be a co-host on this television show with Vince here on Saturday mornings.
You might want to practice a little out work yourself there. So that'd be pretty cool if you bodybuilding for years, stay home and train, and then break in the rest of the following with WWE. Gotta love it. A lot of people wonder why I didn't actually compete for WF. I was just a few weeks away, was in peak condition. I was so excited I was going to actually be a guest poser. And I was so close to the event, but I ended up having a near fatal motorcycle wreck. That was a life and death. head out of the car, 45 mile an hour. Never forget the nurse at the nursery when I finally got there. Better be thanking the Lord. She said, "You are a DOA." I was in so much pain. I had bones sticking out everywhere. And then I was like, "What's a DOA to her?" I said, "She goes, dead on arrival." Dead on arrival, she told me. I went and signed the permission forms. They talk about amputating my arm.
Whether you're looking to buy something on the phone.
Dual action fights pain two ways. When Advil targets pain at the source, using a bit of lots of pain signals. Advil Dual Action.
Some days, you just need it. They can be a memory. Or a feeling. Comfort. It all starts with a circle.
WCW, WWE, completely changed the industry. Two networks fighting each other on live television. What you see is what you get. You guys look over WWE Rivals, new episode next, only on A&E.
I had a near fatal motorcycle wreck. I went and signed the permission forms. They were talking about amputating my arm. And I walked in, big sting.
It was such a mess. They ended up taking the bandages off. His arm, there was bones literally sticking out of his arm. It was like his whole elbow and arm was completely open wide. And I thought, I don't know how this arm can be saved. And Lex is like, Stinger, don't let him touch me. He goes, can you call Dr. Andrews? Dr. Andrews, Jim Andrews out of Birmingham, Alabama. And it just so happened I had his pager, and I paged him, and he got right back with me, and I explained what was going on. He said, get him to the examination, and I'll make sure that he's okay. I don't know how he put his arm back together. I really don't.
Even Dr. Anderson, I don't know if you're going to have full use of that arm again. But I made my debut with WWE less than 6 months later after the wreck. It was just a miraculous recovery.
I believe that Vince had high expectations for Lex Luger and felt that Lex had the potential to become this huge star. I didn't even know what the hell a narcissist was until, we met Lex Luger and Vince came up with this. He's a narcissist. Narcissistic personality and someone who really adores themselves and is very enamored with the presence of themselves. And it's like,
as I've been told back then, my personality, I'm pretty self-focused, and I call it very confident, some people call it arrogant. So we kind of thought that might be a natural character for me to portray the narcissist. That might be how to eat. Kind of thought I could sink my teeth in being a narcissistic bad guy. I was excited about being a narcissist.
Are you ready? It is my pleasure to introduce and to unveil Narcissus Luger! Yes, he is here.
Excited to be making my debut with Bobby Heenan. One of the greatest ever introducing me was awesome. I was excited.
Yep, I remember that.
I know how you feel about yourself. Oh, yeah. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh, my God.
we were always looking for some good new talent in those days, and somebody that would be a good dance partner. When he came onto the scene, they brought him in as the narcissist, very friendly guy. Seemed to have a bit of an attitude, even though he never really did.
He was a kind, good soul, but he was just...
Yep, I remember that.
I truly am incredible. He was a total package.
Where to now?
Lex never met a married in life, just making sure that everything's just right.
I can feel the momentum building for WrestleMania. I feel, I know, and everyone else will see, I will be the most dominant force ever. No, Vince is, man, he's a force of nature. His confidence and his optimism for what he does. He loves the business.
All right, we were able to finish it all now. Cool. So we got them all now. Yep. Good. All right, cool. All right, let's go.
Vince was very happy with the Narcissus character, and I was enjoying it.
As a heel, as the narcissist, okay, it's gimmicky, like all WWE gimmicks were at that time. But that was kind of a pretty good use for Lex, but Vince saw him as the next Hulk Hogan. Vince kind of viewed Lex Luger possibly as a replacement for Hulk Hogan and some of the bigger stars, the Randy Savages, the Ultimate Warriors, and felt that Lex had the potential to become this huge star.
They were actually looking for a tough, good guy in town. Vince calls himself the very sweet shootout. Lex Luger, like the All-American. I was like, are you kidding? I'm the narcissist. I said, no, it'll work. It wasn't so much that the narcissist wasn't working out. This was like it'd be a new, better opportunity for everyone involved, including myself.
I think that Vince's vision for Lex came out as an opponent for Yokozuna. The audience.
Yeah, let's do this. I just got to do one thing before I watch the end of that. I mean, watch the rest of that.
That's convenient.
So I got to concentrate on this, and I can't look at that, you know. Because this is the part I always dread, you know. And to this day, I hate this part with a passion. Once you get past this part, it's easy peasy. But this part, this...
What the fuck is that?
That's the bridge.
Lev.
Follow me.
Fuck.
We'll go slow.
I don't know if I can do this. People cross this regularly?
Yeah.
You're lying.
I'm not. I mean, it's not the most popular route.
Oh my god.
Try not to look down. How you feeling?
I'm waiting on all that true strength. Cool.
What?
Never mind.
What's going on between you and your friend Owen?
Oh my god, Lev, now?
It seemed really awkward.
Just go! I did it!
Come on.
Can we take a minute and be impressed by me?
Not yet.
Lev, come here, I'm gonna hug you.
You're not gonna want to hug me in a second.
Why? Why?
You'll see.
Holy shit, Lev!
It's gonna be okay. Eyes on me.
Shit.
I freaking hate that part. I swear to God, I do. I mean, it is dreadful. I really hate it. It is really dreadful. There is really. Okay, now go slow.
Holy fuck.
All right, good.
Oh my god.
Almost there.
Thank God.
You can see the hospital now.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
Focus on me.
I can't do this, Lev. I can't do this.
Yes, you can.
I can't.
You're going to. Come on. True strength.
True strength. True strength.
Thank God it's over. I mean, when I still remember when I first played this game. This part was, I died at least, I think once, maybe twice, I don't know. But I don't remember, but
I'm dizzy. Hold on. Pull me over.
all right. It's over. Thank God.
Defeat this monster.
Yep, I remember that.
Who's gonna take this man off his feet? Lex Luger is hopefully going to be that red, white, and blue All-American hero to unseat this evil international champion in Yokozuna.
Stars and Stripes Challenge. Yep, I remember that.
Nobody could slam this 500-plus pound behemoth. Here comes Lex in the helicopter riding on the Intrepid. And my God, here's my savior. The last chance of America! With the look of determination in his eyes!
I wasn't sure, as strong as I was back then, I wasn't sure I could really actually slam him.
Okay, so I got everything done now.
So I was nervous.
I got all that. I got that, and that. Yep, all done. So we can just have fun now.
It was an electrifying moment with the skyline of New York in the background, the crowd went berserk.
So we don't even need this anymore. We're done now.
It's kind of a defining moment. I'm really making it at this wrestling thing, man.
We're done with both Abby and Ellie now.
I was just coming to when they turned Lex into Captain America, basically. And it got over. Like, I thought it worked great.
I think Lex Luger is one of the best WWF wrestlers.
No other American athlete could slam Yokozuna.
Yep, got that right. That was one of the best, man. I remember that like it was yesterday, my man.
No question
Yep.
about it. If he can slam him, he should be able to get a title shot.
Yep.
A little stop tour through the southern states on a train named Station America, and then it played all the traditional campaign trips.
George Bush had done a train campaign where he would stop in small towns and he'd get out on the back of the train and meet everybody. His campaign. The idea was to do something very similar with Lex, to campaign across the United States for a championship match at SummerSlam with Yokozuna. And we got a bus. Painted this bus bright blue. Deemed it the Lex Express.
Well, here we are. Right in the middle.
Gas masks?
We did this
On the run.
big send-off of Lex leaving from Stamford, the bus.
Mr. Lex.
George M. Cohan should have scored this thing, for God's sake. I'm a Yankee Doodle Daddy, America, patriotism, the flag, mother, apple pie, all that stuff.
This is the kickoff for Festival Call to Action, and we'll cut it match hopefully down the line here, and let's just crank it up.
Okay, one thing I could do something now that I couldn't do before, my first playthrough, is kill all these creeps now. That's one good thing I can do. That's always my favorite part.
Drive me around the nation.
I had a family at home. They said I could be on tour all summer. We had our boy, we had our girl, and we were a team, and we knew that that was what I was doing, and the way we provided for the family. I used to be on the road, but like all summer in a bus.
Oh man, you gotta go out and see my bus.
slice up of that. He is excited. Flew me home to see my family a couple times for like 1 or 2 days. But I was on the bus.
Lex Luger is here. He's the next big thing in wrestling.
We're talking about the Lex breakfast morning. Lex.
But it didn't last long because that was done, I think, in no time.
Felix in major cities to the night shows to 11 o'clock at night.
The bus was supposed to lead to more exposure for the company and more exposure for Lex. Go places he wouldn't ordinarily go. Give that everyday man an opportunity to touch a WWE superstar. I don't think Lex shared the same visions that we did, and Lex wanted to have the bus. But Lex wanted to stay married.
I did everything.
Because she didn't have the ass support bag. And she said immediately, no, I'm not the other lady here. There's a supervisor that says they only do have that. What do you think of that?
I rode on that bus for the first week with Lex and the crew. Crew was great. Crew was awesome.
Just can't have these days like this, man. We gotta have time to do it.
Probably by the end of week 1, like, Girl, this is the guy.
Really?
I don't feel like I'm in jail. I feel like I'm in an insane asylum. Groundbreaking experience returns for the first time ever with 7 former inmates. 3.5 years, 26 years, 6 different prisons.
If we can't do this, no one can.
I want to have better the conditions for purpose is to help people who suffer less.
I feel like I'm buried alive.
It's going to be the hardest thing to do about life.
Put your present.
Your presents.
We'll probably finish this tonight because we're close to the end now, so we'll see what happens.
Where the style is head to toe and every day is cheese day. So just mix, match, and play. Your uniform.
I mean, we're close to the end with the game. So, yeah. Once you do this, you know, we're close.
I was like, I don't want to do it. Just let me go in. I need a chicken breast. Like,
Did you see your way down?
I get very cranky when I eat. I'm low on energy now. I'm droning when I talk. And Bruce knows how I am. And I'm very easy to get along with, but I have to eat. My concern was that I couldn't eat properly. We're still here, and I'm hungry. And I did lose about 10 pounds in that 4 or 5 weeks. And it was probably good muscle. I'm going to the gym now. He might be. Bye. I think about after say I'm going to be a role model. You know, today, a lot of professional athletes, I think it's you are what you want to be or not.
There were a lot of assumptions that Lex was going to be the next big thing, and he was going to be the guy to take the company into the next 10 years as its conquering hero and the face of the company. There was one problem with that, and that was it wasn't true to the human being.
The question is just who is Lex Luger? It's kind of funny you should ask that. You know, since I've been on tour, I think it's amazing some of the questions people have already asked me. They come right up to you and ask you questions, and I used to say emphatically, I welcome anybody that comes up and asks me a question on tour. Feel free. I love Lex, and he was a great guy. You had to be around him to know that he was a quality guy. But he was very personable. He didn't have his heart into being a babyface, and he didn't like that interaction with the fans. Pretended to be a nice guy and pretended to be in a good mood when he wasn't necessarily. And he just didn't want anything to do with them. They were outside his circle of life.
Lex didn't like going out signing autographs and talking to the fan base. So when he did it, it came across as very disingenuous. It came across as phony.
Now look at this. Isn't this wonderful?
Because it was.
Thank you. Nice meeting you all. Oh, my knees were bad down when I was a little kid, man. It's arthritis.
The babyface, the hero, Hulk Hogan. Say your prayers, take your vitamins, right? Stone Cold Steve Austin, don't trust anybody. He was one of us. He's the common man. Lex Luger was not one of them. He wasn't common. He wasn't really a superhero. He was a statue that you looked at and you admired, but you didn't really have any personal feelings for.
I was very focused on my training and my working out. I might not always be able to highlight his pleasure with some of the other things outside of things they want me to do.
I want to hear about WCW minor league wrestling, so keep your mouth shut.
So I can see some people definitely have that impression that I was not always the easiest guy to work with. I understand that. I still got to shake their hands, look them in the eye, and meet those people. I drew great strength from that. Drew. Jerry. Damn it, what am I doing?
But Drew would have been fine too.
I knew I was never going to be all cold and a replacement for Cold. I was just going to, I always wanted to be the best Lex Luger I could be, that they wanted me to be, and do my job the very best that I could.
Just don't get down on yourself.
And get through the first line.
I guess you can. You're human.
Okay.
They want you to flow up. They don't want you to be perfect.
Start getting good flustered now.
Okay.
Let's go.
There we go.
I didn't say I wasn't trying to be the guy. You don't want to be the guy. Well, this is it. The last day of the message. Myself versus Yokozuna for the title.
Will this be the end of a long journey or the start of another?
The rules are such that in order for a championship to change hands, you have to win by a pinfall or submission.
Hey man, what's the match? Lex Luger for the championship tonight. And the possession of Yokozuna.
So hearing the rules were in the champion's favor because Lex Luger was able to hit Yokozuna out to the floor, and Yoko wasn't able to answer the 10 count to get back in the ring. Therefore, Lex was victorious, but Lex didn't get the championship.
You're just like, huh? Because like the balloons came down, it was like he won the championship, but he didn't.
What the countout finish did was, it felt forced and fake, the balloons dropping, all-American, and that's patriotism, right?
For him not to become the champion was kind of like, really?
Yeah, right.
We were all the way to the moon, we just circled, came back, we were supposed to land, like...
Yes, and he is going to end up looking like a plate full of piss out of this. And that's what happened.
That U.S. gimmick that he had,
It was like a curse. It ruined him.
he doesn't look too happy, does he? He's got a little bit of a smirk on his face, but you're not seeing those big white curly.
If Lex Luger had won the title at SummerSlam 93, he would have been over. And he would have been an attraction.
They should have given you the title, this and that. I was never given any promises of winning the title at SummerSlam.
Vince McMahon wanted to prolong the chase until WrestleMania the following spring in 94. But he was going to get tomorrow. By the time that the next year's WrestleMania came along, Vince had changed his mind because he had seen that Lex looked great and could talk and work as a heel, but his babyface was limited. And still. Once he sort of failed at getting the title from the fans, they just sort of say, move on. So that meant that Lex was worthless in the WWE from that point because he failed to win the title and then didn't come back and make good on it. It's just something that I don't know whether he didn't want to carry the weight. I don't know whether he didn't connect with the people. He could be one of the guys, he couldn't be the guy.
Yep.
The boss just asked me to go golfing.
That was the problem with Vince. He never thought that people, if he, you know, that he was championship material. And that's why Lex Luger became somebody in WCW.
The office at that time, I basically had enough. The poor road agents have had to deal with him every day. And, you know, I'm not trying to make the Lex sound like anything that he isn't. You know, but I would get a report on each and every show. And there was never any positive feedback on Lex's matches or Lex's attitude. I don't think he was happy. He never really fit in WWE. At the same time, WCW was like home to him.
That's the path we would have taken.
WCW in the past 12 months, they said since additional Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, has really closed the gap. Coming in strong, you've got a lot of momentum. And all I can say is tune in. Never forth, you'll see the difference. Lex was always looking to see where the grass was greener. And personally, I did not see Lex resigning the contract. Lex was all about the bottom line. And as that date got closer and closer, he continually lied and said, I'm going to sign it, I'm going to sign it. What do you guys feel? I don't want to take this. After the third time, you tell me you're going to sign it, you don't sign it. You're not signing it.
Vince and I worked with his attorneys, everything, thinking we're probably going to re-sign and reset my character with WWE. That's what I intended to do. On a happen chance, conversation with Sting, that all changed.
I think that the grass maybe was greener there for a while and it was kind of exciting in the beginning. And eventually, I think he realized, oh man, this sucks, man. He was gone more than ever now, at least with WCW. A lot of things that we did were in and around the Mid-Atlantic area. We could drive to and from and get back home. And he had his kids and his family, and he, at that particular time, he wanted to get back.
I don't blame him.
He asked if I would speak with Eric Bischoff or put a good word in because Eric was suddenly running.
Vince McMahon, I'll say one thing, was always a workaholic. Nobody could ever friggin' work with him.
I want to talk to you about Lex. I saw this coming. I was afraid I saw it coming.
Don't shoot.
And I listened to Steve, and he was passionate. You know, he explained to me how he didn't really know Lex Luger, and that Lex Luger knows that he probably didn't handle himself as well as he could have or should have in WCW. And, you know, Lex Luger wanted to come back. And I didn't really want him back. I just couldn't believe that he had changed that much or was willing to change that much.
I'm vouching for him, of course. You know, he's not going to be the same as he was. He's going to be different.
I made up my mind that I was going to offer Lex a deal, but I was going to lowball him. In fact, it was such a lowball offer that I thought, well, I can honestly say I offered to bring him back, and I honestly I thought he would turn it down. I thought it was an insulting offer. It really was. I offered him $150,000. He was the guy that was making $750,000 a year when he left. And now he's coming back after a run in WWE, and I'm offering him $150,000. Keep in mind, there were guys in our developmental system that were not far from that number. And I was thinking, there's no way he's going to take this.
Eric Bischoff was not a big Lex Luger fan, and he gave a lowball offer, but I loved the challenge and wanted to make a change. I thought it'd be cool to be part of your show and be back with my best buddy Sting. And I said, well, I'll prove myself all over again. I'll go back there.
From Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Falls of America, the only building big enough to hold the debut edition of WCW Monday Nitro.
It became crystal clear to me early on how I wanted to use Lex and use him as a surprise because that was set the tone for Nitro.
Let me tell you, we got some great surprises coming your way.
The internet was just starting to come into the fold, and I was trying to get the scoop on what was going to be on a particular program. So WCW wanted a surprise factor, and I was raised that no matter what, you always left the right way and would give 2 weeks notice. But one of the stipulations for Eric was, well, yeah, but if you do that, there's no surprise with you coming in.
We got a lot of fans coming away.
And I really felt I couldn't mess up the opportunity for myself and my family to go back to WCW. I had just left him on the road like 2 days earlier up in Nova Scotia or something up in the Maritimes. And he never would have known. He knew he was leaving. But he was a pro up in the very last day. They flew me that same day to did Jaime Hotel. They waited till like 30 minutes before the show started, brought me in with like towels around my head to a back door in a room. It was all like incredible. The lengths they went to protect whether or not I was there.
What a matchup we have got in store in this debut broadcast. Oh, what in the hell is he doing here? I'm just shocked. Lex Luger making an appearance here of all places.
It was a very well kept secret, and people are freaking out. He had jumped ship back with WCW, and it really helped set us up for great success because there was already controversy.
Wait, Luger's in there! Luger in the ring!
This McMahon WWE had always been good to me, and that really bothered me because I wasn't a class act. Just being on their TV taping a few days prior and then walking on WCW stuff, getting proper notice.
Vince was betrayed and hurt because I do believe that Vince really liked Lex and really wanted to make that potential reality. Lex was a challenge, and Vince loves those challenges. I'll show you, I'll make him a star. And never happened.
Nope. Because Vince screwed him, that's why.
Completely changed the industry. 2 networks fighting each other on live television was so stupid.
That's why he quit. And to tell me when he went to WCW, back to WCW, actually he was treated better.
After he found out we left base, Isaac interrogated all of us. He was rough on
He said he became NWO Wolfpack and, you know.
Jimmy Hart leads in the title against Lex Luger.
Look at him, Tony. This man has been world champion before. He could very well do it again. Wow! Look at the strength of this man. You're looking at the past, the present, and the future of World Championship Wrestling. One of the things that was great for Lex and for WCW is Lex came back as the tide was really beginning to shift for WCW. Lex had the opportunity to come back and reestablish himself at a time when WCW was now riding a wave of success.
Come on, I don't want to do that. Hold on. Disney Channel. Oh my God, I hate that. All right, stop. Thank you.
Yeah, his popularity was like in an instant it was back. It was like, oh, okay, you're home now where you're supposed to be.
Yep.
When Luger came in, it was a huge benefit for WCW. He was a main event player. He was a guy that had been a world champion, that had worked against world champions, that understood what it took to draw money and work his character.
Lex Luger was instrumental to the success of Nitro. I mean, his attitude was so good. I mean, he went out of his way to kind of raise the energy in the locker room. He really was a part of the team, and he made you feel like he was excited to be a part of that team. And that really won me over. So at that point, didn't have to do it. I sat down with him when we started talking about his contract. I said, okay, Lex, I offered you something that I was hoping you'd, get so pissed off at me over that you wouldn't come back. You've proven yourself. Let's talk about what your career looks like going forward here. I renegotiated this deal as a result of just the way he contributed.
He came in and he was different. He had perhaps been humbled somewhat and was grateful for the opportunity to be able to come back. And he was a little bit more helpful for some of the guys. You know, he realized, hey, well, I guess this can be kind of like a team effort.
I love Lex Luger personally. Lex and I was going great. He was always super kind to me. I didn't understand a lot of the heat that I was getting from other people that were a little bit envious of the position I was in. And Lex helped me deal with it. Luger gave me a lot of insight into business.
Lex Luger was awesome. He brought an attitude and a work ethic that I've never seen before. He was a perfectionist. And he helped me out a lot. He was a guy who came from football, so you could still talk to him on that level without him just giving you a wrestling perspective.
Lex Luger, one half of the World Tag Team Champion, also Television Champion.
Definitely would to Lex getting an opportunity to have higher profile matches. I just had more trust and confidence in Lex as a performer. And he certainly got more popular, I think, than he ever had been. And a lot of that is just because his attitude changed.
But now he will go after the man who set the standard for world titles in our sport.
Hogan was the champ, but by the time we got to Auburn Hills, Lex was red hot.
Who has more confidence and momentum on their side than the total package Lex Luger? Standing at the top. Yes!
The night in Detroit when I won the WCW title against Hulk Hogan, the response, I'll never forget. It was incredible in Detroit that night.
And it's celebration time in the Motor City!
And in the exact same building where I did win it back in '93. The place went nuts when he won, man. I think they were just thinking it's not really going to happen, is it? You know, like, it was really cool.
Look at the show of unity! All in to show their support! Never with so much emotion and so much camaraderie as we are seeing right there.
Being in the main event spot with Hogan and then winning a world title, that was a huge deal. He proved whatever he had to do to get back, it was all worth it. He reached his own expectations as a performer, and he won the respect of the people that he worked with and shared a locker room with. And that has to be important to anybody.
Lex Luger at that time, those Monday Night Wars, was someone that WCW needed to carry the time.
A fireworks are going on with the heavyweight champion, Lex Luger.
The Monday Night Wars was just magic. It was definitely an amazing time to be a professional wrestler.
Look at the fans standing, cheering the total package Lex Luger.
We were all together. It was great. All hugs and kisses. Wow, what a great rating on the TV show. We're #1 now.
We had a great camaraderie together.
Wolfpack, baby.
Wolfpack! It's most definitely
And out within the ring, out of the ring afterwards, we go out and that.
So a lot of times you could tell the TV team could get back to the hotel bar and watch Nitro on TV together.
Everyone would gather and watch the replay and put ourselves over. And the problem was the guys would celebrate. Like so we socialized with the guys a little bit, have a few beers. Some of the guys, you might have a couple pills, and they'd try a couple of these. It was the kind of time of celebration and good times and camaraderie, really.
Over the months and a couple of years, it got pretty dark for all of us. You know, alcohol, pills, caused us to make all the wrong choices.
Of course, about the Miller in 1998, whatever it was, instead of noticing that Lex was never around, he went back to his room. He obviously had a relationship with Miss Elizabeth. It wasn't a big secret. It was pretty obvious to everybody.
We got to know each other at the tapings. I have respect for her and what she's done in the business.
The First Lady of Wrestling, the lovely Elizabeth.
She worked with Randy for many years.
And the most charisma of any wrestler in the world is the best.
They've been apart for divorce for many, many years.
The total package, the Scotty Elizabeth come out.
I always thought, well, I would never get involved with someone that I work with. That wouldn't be very smart. Sure enough.
A&E.
Hi. After Liz and Randy got their divorce, she ended up getting remarried. She was married, I was married. Obviously, not something that either of us should have been doing. And just progressed from there.
Everybody's like, this is crazy. What are you doing? What it is? But, there was no getting through.
They were not only in a clandestine relationship, but they were both participating a little bit too much in the pharmaceutical side of the recreational activities.
Without me realizing it, towards the end of my career, whether it was 01, the last couple of years, I was definitely starting to drink a little bit more at home, more and more gradually, popping a few more pills here and there. Like, oh, I'll take a pain pill to go to the gym, get a good workout. I always had a reason.
What was your first mistake?
It got pretty dark for all of us. But he was still in the have his matches.
I'm a successful businessman. I'm free. I'm free. And everything I do. I never thought of myself as my discipline and training. Too much time, too much money, too much time. Then it works out. It definitely manifests itself in my life.
There was no getting through to him.
There's gotta be a way out of here.
At that phase, Elizabeth had moved to Atlanta. I was seeing her more. She was on one side of town. My wife was family on the other side of town in Atlanta.
Still alive.
My marriage disintegrated. My wife realized that I had seen Elizabeth. She tried to give me a second chance, a third chance. I let her down every time. I was not making good decisions.
I hung out with them, and like I was around them a lot, so I knew they were going hard.
Elizabeth turned into a different person.
Downward spiral of more alcohol.
I just got lost in the booze at that time.
Fuck this place.
I had my first arrest. I got pulled over. They said under the influence. I had just a couple beers. They didn't even breathalyzer. I passed it, but they thought that I was on something else, which I was. I popped a few pills. Never did I imagine I'd ever be in jail. First, over, I don't know how many, maybe a dozen or more arrests after that. One of the neighbors called the police for a domestic disturbance. Both Liz and I were shocked that I got arrested. We made an argument, but I've learned now from law enforcement when they come to a domestic dispute, they usually end up taking somebody in. And so I went in, and that, you know, that stuck. And so I was making a lot of really bad decisions, selfish decisions at the time of my life. Things were really, still, I wouldn't have admitted it at the time, but really going to a dark place and really getting out of control in a bad way.
Yeah, I have emergency medical. The rivalry between WC.
Shop online or your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store.
We were watching some movies and went to drinking, popping some pills. I hadn't been there most of the day. Actually, our cleaning lady was at the townhouse. We were at together, and she thought Liz was fine. And I didn't know what she'd been doing, whether she'd been drinking or taking her day, but she seemed fine. 1 minute we were at the microwave heating up some food, and I brought hers over to her, went and heated mine up. By the time I got back from the microwave, 10 feet away, Brathal was asleep on the couch. And thought that was strange, and asked her to, hey Liz, wake up, your food's gonna get cold, and she didn't respond, so I knew, well, that's strange. So I got up, and she was maybe 5-6 feet away, and tried to shake her, and she didn't respond. And I immediately called 911. I was panicked.
She laid on the floor. I tried to take her off. I tried to.
Okay, what I want you to do, I want you to go over and see if she's breathing.
No, please send somebody here just to know what they're doing.
Listen to me. You have got to help her. Lay down.
I've been trying to help her.
Lay down and check and see if she's breathing. Look at her chest. See if it's rising.
Like it is. I'm scared to death.
When the ambulance get there and they pull her out on the gurney and put her back in the ambulance, you just figure everything's going to be okay.
Police were called here about 5:30 in the morning. A 911 call said a woman was unresponsive. A few minutes later, by the time she arrived at Kennestone Hospital, the woman was dead.
The moment I found out that she had passed, I remember it was just total shock. I remember it was hot. I was overheated. I was dehydrated. I felt like I was going to pass out. My feeling that moment, just total disbelief and shock that she didn't make it.
He called me freaking out, in tears. Stay her. Oh my gosh. She's gone, she died. I don't know what I'm gonna do. My life is over.
I knew, because we talked about it, like he was really in love with her. I mean, he did everything.
You know, I hate to say it, but when you think about it now, they always said he killed her, but I don't think he did.
For a long time. I was devastated, and I was angry as hell at Lex, which is really immature on my part, because she made her own decisions and choices. She was an adult woman. I felt that Lex took advantage of her, influenced her, and maybe took her down that path. I blamed Lex for a long time. After I found out, sitting out front of my townhouse, that she didn't make it, they arrested me on drug charges.
Police say his arrest is not connected to Miss Elizabeth's death, but what investigators found inside the townhouse. Cole is charged with violating the Controlled Substance Act.
The charges are spelled out in the new arrest warrant. Lawrence Fole, better known as Lex Luger, accused of possessing and selling drugs. Drugs like anabolic steroids and Sazin, a growth hormone.
Marriage fell apart, divorce, a horrible impact on my children. My life had become a total train wreck, and I always think I could pull it back together and do one more big run in the rain.
These people come to see Lex Luger, no doubt. The total package has been making a hot trailblazing path on the independent scene.
My body was starting to break down a little bit. 15 years of high school, college, pro football, and 15 years of wrestling, almost 5,000 matches.
Luger off the ropes. Would been trying for a clothesline and stumbled. I think Luger got the better of that one.
Yeah, and arrogance, ignorance, not realizing I was in a big time life and death struggle with drugs and alcohol. And I kept on thinking I could end it anytime I wanted. More pills, more alcohol. The exact opposite of what who would thought might have been a wake-up call. I actually received a 5-year sentence for the drugs and did some jail time. Got back out, went back to the same lifestyle. But even worse,
Luger, or Fole as he's known, was arrested on DUI charges, open container, no proof of insurance, alteration of a tag, and an expired tag.
Lex was all over the news in Atlanta, and it was just mind-boggling to me how far he had fallen.
I was living out in a hotel room, so all those mansions and all that stuff there, I was renting a hotel room, do my community service, and I'd do that during the day, go back and get high. I would answer the phone for anybody, my own family, my best friends. Really, really dark 5-year period. There was moments I didn't care if I woke up or not, when things got really dark. In my cell, I was in a small jail cell by myself. I actually contemplated climbing up to the top of the partition. There's a real high ceiling in there. And standing up on the partition with my hands behind my back because everything was cement in there. And just falling head first and maybe I could end it.
Lev, I'm sorry. Lev,
I was the jail chaplain for 28 years at the Cobb County Adult Detention Center. And he had been arrested a few times, and he really, in my opinion, he looked beat down. And it was kind of scary.
Kept on trying to knock on the window of my jail cell. Come see
We're good, we're good, we're good.
He told me when I got out that he wanted me to help get in shape again.
When he was released, I found him at a gym. At first, he tried to get rid of me.
Hey, it's okay.
I'm going to make him so sorry for the gym that he'll never set foot in the gym again.
She won't hurt you.
I couldn't get rid of Pastor Steve.
Go get a girl.
So I began to just slowly win his trust.
And I kept on thinking, now he's never asked me to come to church. And finally, he popped the big question. He wanted me to come to a Sunday night service. And I went to his church service, and there in front of church, I never met him before in person, but Dr. Marvin J. Frady.
And Lex came to hear Doc, my husband of 64 beautiful years. And for the first time ever in his life, he came to our little church and sat on the back pew. He was scared to death. Doc preached on, is your house built on the rock or the sand?
And man, did he hit me. That my whole life here, I've been just figuring away money and stuff, and I was building my whole life on sinking sand. I had a vision of all my mansions and money and fame and stuff that being on a beach and be washed away. That my life really had no true purpose or meaning. I went back to my hotel that night. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I called Pastor Steve up and said, man, something happened to me. He came to my hotel room April 23rd of 06 and shared the plan of salvation with me, the plan that God has for all of us. And I asked him, well, what I got to do is got to get down on my knees and pray. I've never done it in my life. And I got that and I got out of leaving. And make a full commitment to come clean and ask for forgiveness and ask Jesus to come in my heart.
Actually saw when you prayed to Jesus a physical change. It was almost like he was in pain.
I felt instant peace, instant surrender. Do you feel anything, man? I felt like I kind of got power washed from inside out by the Holy Spirit. And I felt a peace and serenity that I'd never felt in my entire life. My first 47 years of my life at that moment. And my life was forever changed from that moment forward. In a good way.
And I could see something was completely different in him. I was able to literally baptize him and watch his life change.
It was a really powerful moment for Steve and I. We were like reunited as now, not just friends, but brothers in Christ. In the book of Proverbs, it talks about how a friend is a friend at all times. That describes my relationship with Steve.
Who is the real Paul Hack?
After a long trip, I found that praise the Lord God to will tell Pakistan, ambassador soldier for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and God. All right, Steve. The first month after I got saved, I had like godly remorse for my past, and I knew what real sorrow was. I was like crying all the time, so I talked to Dr. Freddy one time and said, Lex, you gotta let go of the past. Those bells have been rung, you can't unring them. I'm not talking about the obviously negative things that affected other people in my life. I would never diminish or disrespect that. I understand their feelings, but I had to forgive myself to move forward. When I look back, devastation with my own children, the relationship I don't have with them, understandable, there's consequences for the things we did in the past. I always hold out hope for that in the future at some point. Because they don't really know the new dad.
Why do you think he did it now? Check this out. Last week he got assigned his role.
After he had gotten saved and after he'd gone through this, I was excited to see Lex because we're both going to be at this show in San Francisco. The promoter called me and he said, can I meet you at Lex's room? He's had some kind of stroke. I'm like, what?
Ask Sherwin-Williams and stay fit.
Okay, so this is Seattle, and this is Santa Barbara. And Turtle Island. It's too small to see, but it will be up here. It's so far. Yeah.
Completely changed the industry. 2 networks. New episode next, only on A&E.
I had not seen Lex in years. And after Elizabeth, the drinking, driving, and arrests, I mean, this is not Lex Luger. After he got saved and after he'd gone through this, I was excited to see Lex because we're both going to be, actually, 80 guys going to be at this show in San Francisco.
He got on the plane and went from Atlanta to San Francisco, 5-hour flight.
I did a heavy shoulder trap and neck workout the night before. Got an airplane with my head turned unusual angle.
He was in conversation. He had his neck craned the whole time, and at the end of the flight, felt stiffness in his neck.
I woke up the next morning with a stabbing, searing pain in my shoulder blades and realized I couldn't move. Didn't realize, I thought maybe dehydrated, I was paralyzed from the neck down. I go down, I grabbed him. Legs on, put together, EMT grabs him, and we put him in there, and didn't really notice that he wasn't really being able to move. They're not sure what caused it, but so I put together, EMT grabs him, and we put him in there, and didn't really notice that he wasn't really being able to move. They're not sure what caused it, but there definitely was massive swelling from my C5 and my cervical area down to T5, which is about mid-chest level. And they can't really explain how it happened or why, and they don't know whether maybe some of the bone spurs pierced that central cord that we got to keep protected. There's also a little bit of spinal stenosis in there.
The prognosis was he couldn't move hardly anything. They flew him to the Shepherd Center. So for like a whole year, he lived in a bed.
It was a scary thing to find out that he was paralyzed like that, the way it went down. Then to watch his progress. He came back over time. And watching him do his therapy, I can remember in the very, very beginning, he was in a chair and they had him tied here. And they had to untie him for a few moments to, I forget what they were trying to do, but I can remember he literally fell uncontrollably like this forward. And I reached out to catch him and I put him back up like this. I literally fed him with a fork because he couldn't feed himself. Unbelievable.
I was stunned by it. You know, he had a great physique, and must have been.
What's he doing? He's going after
It was such a challenge to overcome.
I was like, Lord, I don't know how to live this way. So either bring me home to heaven or teach me how to live this way, man. He showed me the way. He was the light through all that. And I had a miraculous recovery. I'm not 100% obviously.
She just had surgery.
I can live independently and feed and bathe myself and dress myself, and I'm like there 1% of people with an injury like mine. Never got the big muscles back, but still go to the gym a little bit.
I can help.
Yeah.
I still love going in and mentoring the young guys. They 6, few 10, 15.
Blake started training me in the gym. He started giving me his personal workout plan and what he ate.
A lot of people made me who I was. I made an appreciation back then I should have, but a lot of people worked with me, where I wanted to be in life. I feel now like if there guys like Jonathan and help them get to where they wanted in life. Kind of like a life coach, I guess.
There you go.
Now is trying to give back for everything that he took or stole.
For 30 years, I was almost Lex, me, myself, and I. God's shown me personally that our true strength comes through Him from the inside out, not from the outside in.
A guy who took such pride in his physique and he was such a physical specimen, and now to be the opposite of that, and then to be around wrestling fans, in my mind I thought, oh, that must be hard. And then I looked at him, he's beaming.
He is more cheerful and more friendly than he ever was when he was making all that money, when he looked like $1 million.
If I knew now what God's taught me now, I could have been a much better leader in the locker room. I would have been a much better person to be around, much more positive, much more encouraging. I think about it all the time. Here he is, Lex Luger. Sometimes we don't realize what we had until it's gone. This is the finest physical specimen in professional sports today. Looking back at my career, there's a lot of cool defining moments in my 15-year wrestling career for sure.
I think of some of my heroes in the wrestling business, there's very few that are on the same level that Lex was.
I don't talk about him as being a tragedy because I see him now. And I see this guy that is so humble. But I wish he hadn't had to go through so much.
Your heart breaks a little bit for somebody that you know, somebody that's a friend that had to go through what he went through. But on the other hand, he came out of it stronger than ever.
We staked our careers on never, ever backing away from the achievements.
His enthusiasm for life is remarkable. I want to be like that.
There's a verse in the Bible that said, I finished the race, I fought the good fight.
This is the total package, Lex Luger.
Good job, my man. Good job. You did good. Good job.
A girl can dream. Okay, now, remember the rules. No flagging, flirting, flashing, camera stacking, or quality copy. Obviously. I think you just referred
A&E.
When safe drivers say for not answering their phone while driving, they feel like a big deal.
Did you get the ice?
Oh, cool. I get to watch this now. Cool.
Save up to 30% on auto insurance with USAA Safe Pilot. Get a quote today.
I'll watch the other one next week, too. Lex Luger. Oh, it's repeating. Okay. So I get to watch it again. Okay, cool. A little bit of it. Then I can watch the Rivals.
Take an afternoon break to see your next time.
Now let's go. I think I'm up to the good part now. I always like this part compared to the one when like you're crossing that thing with Lev. I mean that part always gets to me, but this one is definitely better.
America's #1 trusted food storage bag. S.C. Johnson.
Here.
Now I'm up to the good parts, the easy parts that I like. So. Hold on a second. Oh, good. All right, hold on a sec. We're just going to do this real quick. Turn this off real quick. We can continue on with our new one. So. But like I said, you get the. I mean, the other one is always good. I mean, that part is always the heart. It always makes me fear, you know. And not because I want to, you know. But.
Any chance Love's going to change his mind?
But when you think about it, it's a lot easier, I think. But you know.
A lot of people think you get a great price for your car, but no one gives a better price than a 1-800-CAR-SALE. Since 1977, Market has been the fastest way to sell your car. We make it easy. You'll be in and out in 20 minutes, and we'll get
I think my favorite part is always when you get up to this part and you get to be, you know, when you're going to do Ellie and, you know.
Verizon Visa Card, built to earn big rewards for everyday purchases. Turn rewards into tactical travel and gift cards. It's built to help you save on your wireless bill too. Credit card, go right. Learn that you can earn 4% rewards. Visit Verizon.com/Verizon.
This might go through.
Or My Verizon app.
I have not seen Lex in years. And after Elizabeth, the drinking, driving, and arrests, this is not Lex Luger. After he got saved and after he'd gone through this, I was excited to see Lex because we're both going to be, actually there's like 80 guys going to be at this show in San Francisco.
He got on the plane and went from Atlanta to San Francisco, 5-hour flight.
I did a heavy shoulder trap and neck workout the night before, got the airplane with my head turned at an unusual angle.
Boats are across
He
the
was
water over
in
there.
conversation.
He's got to get up to the road and go
He had his
around.
neck craned
Hey,
the whole
that's
time,
good.
and at the end of the flight, felt stiffness in his neck.
I woke up the next morning with a stabbing, searing pain in my shoulder blades and realized I couldn't move. Didn't realize, I thought maybe it was dehydrated, I was paralyzed from the neck down. I go down and I grab it. You know, Lex on, but the other EMT grabs him and we put him in there and didn't really notice that he wasn't really being able to move. And They're not sure what caused it, but there definitely was massive swelling from my C5, my circulator down to T5, which is about mid-chest level. They can't really explain how it happened or why, and they don't know whether maybe some of the bone spurs pierced that central cord that we got to keep protected. They saw a little bit of spinal stenosis in there.
The prognosis was he couldn't move hardly anything. They flew him to the Shepherd Center. So for like a whole year, he lived in a bed.
It was a scary thing to find out that he was paralyzed like that, the way it went down. Then to watch his progress. He came back over time. And watching him do his therapy, you know, I remember in the very, very beginning, he was in a chair. They had him tied here. And they had to untie him for a few moments to, I forget what they were trying to do, but I can remember he literally fell under control of his falling, and I reached out to catch him, put him back up like this. I literally fed him with a fork because he couldn't feed himself. Unbelievable.
Now. Why? See me later.
I was stunned by it. He said I great physique, and must have been such a challenge to overcome.
Stay low. I was like, Lord, I don't know how to live this way. So either bring me home to heaven or teach me how to live this way, man. He showed me the way. He was the light through all that.
Don't worry.
We'll get it. I'm not 100% obviously. I can live independently.
What trespassers?
I'm like their 1%. Before they usually like mine.
I'm moving up.
I still love going in Metro New York.
Go.
When I started training in the gym, he started giving me his personal workout plan and what he ate.
A lot of people made me who I was. I mean, I didn't have appreciation back then. I should have, but a lot of people worked with me to get where I wanted to be in life. I feel now I can work with guys like Jonathan and help them get to where they want in life. Kind of like a life coach, I guess.
Now he's trying to give back for everything that he so far stole.
For 30 years, I was all about that.
Let's get inside of the rush. We can use this as cover.
Right behind you. That our true strength comes through him, from the inside out, not from the outside in.
A guy who took such pride in his physique, such a physical specimen.
Come on, move!
The opposite of that. And then to be around wrestling fans, in my mind, I thought, oh, that must be hard. And then I look at him.
It's falling apart!
More cheerful, and he never was. When he was looking like $1 million.
If I knew now what guys taught me now, I could have been a much better leader in the locker room. I would have been a much better person to be around, much more positive, much more encouraging. I think about it all the time. Sometimes I don't realize what we had till it's gone. There's no physical specimen in professional sports here. Looking back at it, there's a lot of cool defining for sure.
I think somebody here was impressive. There's very few that run the same method that Max was. I don't get it back. You get up and I see this guy. I wish he had so much. It takes a little bit for somebody to know so much different and to go through what he went through. But on the other hand, he came out of it stronger than ever.
We staked our careers on never, ever back away from each other.
His enthusiasm, life is remarkable. I want to be like that.
There's a verse in the Bible that says, I finished the race.
Yes! Lex Luger!
I guess that's how I
Vince McMahon,
describe the Monday night. The Yankees can't stand the Boston Red Sox. Wrestling, we have WWE and WCW. I felt these guys.
This is going entirely too far.
This is everything had an edge. It was kind of
Gotta get to the bridge before you run.
you don't know what's going to be on the match, and you don't want to miss it. It was a legit rivalry and competition between the two companies.
One.
When two legends collide, their rivalry stays pinned in the minds. This is where we break down the legendary stories of the greatest rivalries of all time. I'm Freddie Prinze Jr. And this is WWE Rivals. This was the craziest time in wrestling that I've ever experienced as a fan. We're going to discuss WCW and WWE.
As a fan, you're getting like the best of both worlds. You're getting Nitro on the VCR in one room, and then in the other room you watch it live because you can't go back and watch them otherwise. You're missing stories. So I feel like it was such a good job of really trying to honor, I guess, the customer or the viewer by putting out like good stuff.
So, John, I'm wondering if you can sort of put into perspective, how did this come about? Sure, because of television. When television was reading,
And they were talking about going national because they saw what was coming with national television. They knew somebody was going to do it.
Hello, everyone. This is Vince McMahon. This video is the first Cable Network. We wholeheartedly welcome you.
This is the guy
You see him?
guys like able to beat Vince at it. And the one guy that's left is Jim Crockett in the Carolinas. And Jim Crockett sells to Ted Turner. This is the last battle of the territories in the United States.
I want to congratulate World Championship Wrestling for continuing the tradition of bringing action-packed wrestling excitement to TBS. The reason that I got involved from an ownership standpoint is that I had a vision that eventually would be successful with.
WCW was the distant number 2 to WWE. Nobody ever thought it would be competitive to WWE.
We just want to be as successful as this is, and everybody takes, kick his butt.
Starting on the USA Network in 1993 was revolutionary.
Prior to that, shows from very canned and put together. The launch of Raw sort of completely changed sports entertainment. The live nature that this sort of anything can happen, quickness of it. There was a magic to that show, and the way it was presented, that sort of was a game changer. Back then, Vince was moving in a different direction. Vince was moving to younger wrestlers at the time, and it was like a youth movement. And it just seemed like the perfect time for us to mutually part ways. When I did Thunder in Paradise, on the sound stage next to me where I was filming was Ted Turner's WCW. Eric Bischoff started coming over and he started bringing Ric Flair with him. He wanted to be part of wrestling. I said, no way. It's been on for a good 5 or 6 months. I did this wrestling so much. I found my cage. And they worked for Ted Turner.
That was the first blow of like, now they're taking established stars from the WWE and bringing them into WCW.
That's going to get a notice.
Hulkamania lives and World Championship Wrestling.
The first night on pay-per-view, going to have much more traction than they'd had ever.
One man, one champion, the only champion in the world today.
Everybody double bombed and said, "Whoa, what's going on over here?" And made everybody look out of the way.
And then from there it was Randy Savage.
I'm here for only one reason, it's to take it to the limit.
Yeah.
Watching Truck K-Man, it was huge.
All these wrestlers that we used to watch growing up were now going to a different place of business to work for someone else that we never thought we'd see before.
Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage had been established as the two biggest stars in all of sports entertainment. So the idea that they were on another channel, wrestling for another company, instantly gave that company credibility and gave that company eyeballs.
Without a shadow of a doubt, this is where the big boys play.
Look, they were outvincing Vince. You look at what Vince did at WrestleMania 1. He coaches Piper. He brings in Liberace. He brings in Muhammad Ali.
Where is everyone?
They were doing the same things.
We don't use this for
High five, Shaquille O'Neal!
They coached Hogan. They bring in the celebrities. This was his most formidable opponent by far.
We have to catch up to him. Do you know where he's going? To our house. That's where I'm on with him. How far is it? Across the
The
island?
first time I heard about Nitro going head-to-head with us, I thought they were crazy.
What about
Why
your
wouldn't
people?
you go on a different
We'll take
day
back trails.
where you have an opportunity to have all of the audience?
Are you sure the Wolves are attacking
I
tonight?
wanted to go head-to-head with
Yeah,
Vince.
that's
You
well,
can't
they're
beat
coming.
anybody unless you get to the
They'll
ring.
use a storm as a
We
cover
want
for
to give
the
you a choice. Speedily and get the biggest stars in our industry.
changes his mind.
When WCW made the decision to go head-to-head Monday nights, that was absolutely an act of war.
What cost?
It was real competition. Same time spot, one channel apart.
Buckle your seatbelt because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Up here. Are you good climbing that? It's the fastest
Everyone
way.
in the Minneapolis St. Paul area getting ready for Monday Nitro on TNT. This Monday night, check your local listings. It's going to be away.
I had just finished doing probably about 6 months worth of research. Traveled all over the country, sitting in different focus groups. The element of surprise is one of the things that I keep hearing.
And I've got the inside crack on a scorching rumor that has a very proud wrestling superstar about to sign with World Championship Wrestling.
Lex Luger was one of WWE's biggest stars. Lex Luger's contract had expired. Lex didn't let anybody in WWE know that his contract was coming up, and somehow WWE just let it slip between their fingertips.
Why are you helping
As
us?
we were getting closer and closer to the debut of Nitro, Lex came in and he said, "Look, my contract is up Sunday."
I guess we
I
don't
felt
deserve this,
whoa.
but also
Lex, it's Eric.
needed to.
I got an idea.
What a matchup we have got in store in this debut broadcast. What is
Isaiah
how's
Butch.
he doing here?
Yeah, that's easy. That's his favorite thing.
Lex came in. That was hype. Whoa.
He had jumped ship. People are freaking out. Really helped set us up for great success because there was already
Where's
controversy.
that?
Now we have the
Start
opportunity
warning
to
signal.
really surprise people.
Your people up here.
Well, you said things are going to happen every
Whole
Monday night,
island is on
Bishop,
alert now.
and
We
it's
need to hurry.
happening.
It was definitely a big shocker for wrestling fans.
How is this happening?
Like, look at that. In the ring.
How many people
That's
live
such a
there?
shocker to everyone. It's a big deal.
How many soldiers? How many else are trained to become? What are the other half going to do when
It's
they
never going to be the same ever again.
Some will
This
hide.
is the most amazing
Most will
pair of
fight.
events I've ever seen.
Worked magically. Didn't it, Bruce Pritchard?
Damn, how did that happen?
I am sick and tired of playing around with kids. I'm here to get on with the big boys, and that means you.
It was electric. I mean, this is our opportunity to gain some more momentum.
I know where you've been, brother. It told everybody that you have to tune into Nitro every week because you don't know what's going to happen next, and you don't want to miss it.
Okay, we're gonna compete. Let's go. We're gonna fight. Let's go fight.
Guide us through the storm. When you're lost.
Like this. Look for the light.
Introducing new Skechers Slip-ins.
My dad always used to say.
Just step in and off you go. Putting your shoes on has never been easier. Plus, they're even machine washable. Go hands-free with your footwear with new Skechers Slip-ins.
Damn, Drive Time makes it easy to buy a car. I got approved on tons of cars. And got my personalized financing right on my phone. It's like I'm already at the dealership.
Anywhere you are with the phone, you pretty much are in a Drive Time dealership.
Hey,
To pay your down payment, monthly payment, and buy the car, you need all on your phone.
we've been sharing a bug for 50 years. And if Popeye's thinking that, you can too. Get 5 pieces of our crispy, juicy, tender signature chicken, 2 sides and 2 biscuits for just $11.99. Dinner for 2 just can't eat. Pick it up today at Popeye's.
To be clear, we have never been accused of being flashy, sexy, or lit. Really? We're definitely not lit. I mean, seriously, we named ourselves Booking.com, which is kind of lit if we're talking literal. It's why we're Planet's #1 site for booking accommodation. We love booking stuff. And we're just here to help you make the best of your vacation. Oh, Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Sleek, curly, we all want to fight red. Garnier Petite Sleek and Shine. Argan Oil Plus Care System. Up to 72 hours for control. 97% humidity protection. Petite Sleek and Shine. #1 in integrity by Garnier Naturally.
Say hello to America's #1 furniture and mattress store. Get up to 30% off select items. Plus, revitalize your sleep with a new mattress and get $150 off bedroom furniture. Visit your local Ashley store or shop online today. Let's dive in. Check out your back. It's fun!
Advil Dual Action fights pain 2 ways. Advil targets pain at the source. Acetaminophen blocks pain signals. Advil Dual Action.
It's 5 a.m. and I feel like I can do anything.
We've got apples and cabbage, 7,000 dahlias, vegetables, and
Brisket for dinner.
This is my happy place.
We've been coming here since 1868.
My grandmother used to say, don't call me, don't bother me, I'm going out to home.
There's a lot of pushy death stuff out there, but
I make the earth take the shit that I want.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your life. Learn how to make the most of yours. Deer.com.
Ooh, that I can't believe I scored this right still. Right there, all they did was small paper for victory.
Wayfair, you purchase what I need. More and more people are living with pain and debilitating orthopedic conditions. But it doesn't have to be that way. At the New York Spine Institute, we provide the highest standard of care, utilizing the most advanced, least invasive treatment options available. It's time to get better. It's time to enjoy life. New York Spine Institute. Better treatment for a better life. Haircut Pastor.
Installation question 3. This is ridiculous, man. Come on. Kids.
You've never seen court like this. Anything can happen. Like real cases live across America. The judge and on real witness in real time. One Night Live. Big series premieres Wednesday at 9. Only on A&E.
Last week, debut edition of Nitro, we saw Lex Luger stunning the world, making his appearance here.
That Lex Luger moment, it had a lot more to do with Nitro's success, and its early success, than almost anything, because it set the tone. Here's this new show coming out to compete with Monday Night Raw, head-to-head, and we're doing things that nobody else in the wrestling business had ever done.
At the time, Monday Night Raw was recorded live every other week. They were live every week, and they would often give spoilers as to what was going to happen on our tape shows.
In case you're tempted to break the remote control, check out the competition. Don't bother. Shawn Michaels beat the big guy with the Super King Gunner and Greenville win at a local YMCA.
He wasn't there to do good business for himself. He was there to try to put Vince out of business. It was just trying to attack Vince McMahon. That's how I'm going to get recognized.
Look at her. And a 100 flags. Once again, the WWF Women's Champion.
So Alundra Blaze never lost the WWE Women's Championship, but her contract ran out, and Aaron Bischoff and WCW signed her right away, and she brought the championship belt with her to Nitro.
And that's what I think of the WWF Women's Championship belt.
Alundra Blaze throwing that title in the garbage can let the WWE know that the gloves were off.
Competition is one thing, but WCW, some of their tactics were a little on the personal side.
Oh, she got sucked up on that one in Connecticut, didn't it?
Competition's great, and it brings out the best. It also brings out the worst sometimes. And one thing that we have never done was acknowledge our competition. Don't acknowledge them, they don't exist. But we were in a fight, and there are no rules in a fight.
I built this company by doing one thing really well. Buying old assets and a repackaging. Heck, I even bought old wrestlers.
The billionaire Ted Skids were something we had to do. It was unorthodox.
Joining us tonight, the Hot Stuff and the Nacho Man.
They started doing the mockeries. Not really smart move. Because all of a sudden, the WWE wrestling fan who loved those two guys, and you mock those two, that pissed WWE fans off.
Yeah, kind of like big fans with return to WCW to see if Hulk Hogan was really pushing the water. Many people look, to see if I was really that washed up.
I was not that offended by him. I said, well, Vince must be hurt to be resorting to this kind of stuff.
We're losing guys left and right, and our business is suffering.
People were starting to lose in the ratings more regularly, and it became clear that WCW had what I would call the high end.
Am I in a roll? Am I in a roll, baby? You're in a roll, baby.
When I got there, business wasn't that great. I can remember very distinctly being in Pittsburgh in a half-full arena, standing in the curtain with Austin, and saying, I didn't think it'll ever be as big as it was like in the 80s. I remember one show we had like 500 people. That was really, really bad.
A lot of our big guys are leaving to go to WCW. They just kind of basically opened up their checkbook and said, come on down, you're not going to have to work much, and you're going to get paid a lot of money.
There was more money being offered than had been offered before to guys.
The businessman in these companies, this is a good thing. Because I'm a wrestler, so the more wrestling companies there are, the better it is for me.
Dallas Page, who was really good friends with Scott Hall, kind of brought a ballpark number of what he would get guaranteed money for half as many dates. So it was basically for Scott almost 3 times the amount of money he made for half as many dates. And it was guaranteed. I looked over at Scott and I said, see what they'll give me.
Dude.
Say hello, Razor Ramon.
Razor Ramon and Diesel have been built as 2 of the biggest new superstars in WWE. They left the WWE and decided to go for big money in WCW.
It works because, number one, the stars are aligned. Scott Hall walks on WCW TV.
You want a war? You're gonna get
Good one.
The next week, Kevin Nash walks on TV.
This is where the big boys play, huh? You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here.
We're not saying the Razor and Diesel. The Razor's got the same haircut, got the toothpick, it's hey, and Diesel is out there doing Big Daddy Cool stuff. Perception as an audience member is, are we working together? WWE's they do this good stuff.
These 2 girls who think they're gonna come in and take over World Championship Wrestling.
So it seemed as if the WWE was invading WCW.
That made it so you never wanted to turn the channel off Nitro.
The big man and the medium-sized man and our surprise buddy are gonna carve
Who is going to show show up to WCW next, and who is going to join this invasion organization? The Razor Diesel, Paul and Nash. We're starting.
Where are you? Oh, there you go.
I don't see three men here tonight. Where is your partner? Chico, you know too much already. All you need to know, little man, is he's here and he's ready.
I thought the build-up to it, who's the third man, was huge. It was one of the coolest things in wrestling.
Hulk Hogan is here! Hulk Hogan's here! Now, Hulk Hogan, since the early 80s, had been the ultimate hero in wrestling. So WCW decided to shock the world.
It doesn't stretch really go down, but they stay on train. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
I don't hydrate like everyone else because I'm not everyone else.
Now, see, I didn't have to have any loading. So I watched my friend today that I follow, Don the Bomb, and when he was playing his loading for his PS5, he's got loading. I think it's definitely different with my SSD now. I think it has a lot to do with it. Even though this is a PS4 game, like I said, it also will give you better loading time. So this game doesn't even load when I skip like it did. So there's definitely a difference. There's definitely a difference in it. It's like this is a PS5 game. So I am definitely happy.
Which can lead to something big. Start stopping with Nicorette.
We've been sharing the love for 50 years. And if Popeye's cooking down, you can too. Get 5 pieces of our crisp chips and tips.
Okay, we're not going to finish it all today. We'll go to the part with Lev, and then we'll get to that one area, and then we'll be done. So, for now, normally we'd go on, but yeah, it's getting late. So.
Nothing like a hometown Toronto County fair. Just that. Go now. Wow. Jack.
Did we think this was healthy?
That was actually fun.
When can we go back?
We have to wait a whole year, darn it. When it comes to comfort, we're thinking of every mile. The new Hyundai Palisade. It's your journey.
Got any clear blue?
Clear blue.
Yeah.
Clear blue. Clear Gorilla Blue, of course.
Gorilla Glue strength in a crystal clear formula. For the toughest Johns on planet Earth.
Sleek, curly, we all want to fight Frizz. Going to Petite Frizz and Shine, Argan Oil Plus Care Assistant. Up to 72 hours frizz control. 97% humidity protection. Petite Frizz and Shine, the quantity to breathe. I guarantee naturally. Whether you're looking to buy something on the small side, or the medium side, or, wow, that's really big. Zillow Home Loans can get you the mortgage you need, so you can get the home you want. For financing made simple, there's no place like Zillow. Kids can change minds. They can even change the world around us. Packed with protein plus 21 vitamins and minerals, we nourish them with Carnation Breakfast Essentials. Because today could change everything. Your Safari Sabo knows a moment this pure, demands a lotion this pure. Gold Bond Pure Moisture Lotion. 24-hour hydration. No parabens, dyes, or fragrances. Gold Bond. Champion your skin.
The white meat, baby-faced good guy. This was the role model for your children. But the act had started to get stale with wrestling fans. Hulk Hogan dropped the leg on WCW. Hulk Hogan went villain.
Like, are you kidding me? And not only that, but literally have trashed, thrown it, Hulk Hogan, beloved Hulk Hogan.
The ring filled up with so much trash. Oh my God, get some heat.
As far as I'm concerned, all this crap in the ring represents these fans out here. You fans can stick it, brother.
All you fans can stick it, brother. Like, what a moment in wrestling history.
This right here is the future of wrestling. You can call this the new world
Order.
wrestling, brother.
He's like, I'm bigger than WWE. I'm going to make this company bigger than you.
That fuse was lit, and it was a short fuse. And when it blew up, you guys took over.
Go there.
It's okay, because there's nothing you can do about it.
The NWO became the most popular thing in sports entertainment. The anti-heroes that everybody was craving in that era.
They were so hot. They kind of like redefined wrestling.
They spray painting a video truck. Oh, you talking about a bunch of cowards.
They were supposed to be the bad guys,
Oh, no!
but they were too cool to be bad.
Everybody here just can't
Damn,
get
look.
enough of the NWO.
And so you were kind of wondering what's going to happen next week. Who's going to be the next guy in the NWO?
I guess we're getting the official coronation of the newest member of the New World Order.
Culturally, the most influential thing that was happening was West Coast rap. Back 10, all we did was just took all these different little culture things and kind of integrated them and then just ran with it. It kind of matched what was really going on in society, where everything had an edge and NWO felt right, and that popped with what was cool and acceptable.
You gotta love this.
Once the NWO emerged, that train just took off and left everybody, including Monday Night Raw, in the dust.
NWO for
Life.
WCW beat us for 3 weeks straight.
NWO is the reason for the success of Monday Nitro.
WCW was catering to that 18 to 34-year-old male demographic.
Everything they did seemed to work. We didn't have that yet.
The WWE product in the mid-1990s was a cartoon. It was aimed at young people, wrestling fans around the world. That's just not what they wanted.
We couldn't sell any tickets. They're on fire.
Yeah.
They're the innovators. We're not. And they're kicking our ass.
Back then, you know, you are true blue WWE. You get that loyalty, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the thing. But then you see this other side. What these guys doing their thing over here. You're captivated by it.
I remember one time we were flying back from Nitro. It was Hulk, me, Scott, Eric, Randy, and all of us that worked for Vince. We're all drinking and laughing, and Bischoff said, "Oh, we'll put him out of business." It's just like, and Hogan's the first one. Hogan goes, "Good luck, put that man out of business." You're looking at a company where top stars are leaving to go there, and the tide shifts, and all of a sudden you have to recreate from what you have left. Guy, we're doing is some new. We're going to product to give us more of an edge. One of the things we're doing is making more sense.
You still with me? It gives me a sense.
When we really made the change and dove in head first, there was no turning back.
We are the generation that you make the rules and we will bring up. Yeah.
Shawn Michaels and Hunter Bruce Helms started gesturing to their project became D-Generation X.
Took on a life of its own. You're not going to tell us what to do. You're not going to tell us what we can say. You're not going to tell us how to dress. We're going to tell you to suck it.
Sean and I both got jumbo weenies.
I just saw yourself hanging out with the NFL. I saw yourself hanging out with the X. It resonated with the same kind of a culture where it was at the time.
Surely the era of the superhero who urge you to say your prayers and take your vitamins is definitely passé. We encourage some degree of mental destruction as it relates to human beings all stay free.
When he committed to, okay, we're leaving the kids stuff behind, now we're moving into this, hell yeah.
Product needs to change and be more realistic. Hence the birth of the Attitude Era. We're going to push it. We're going to walk to the line. They step over it. We're going to try and move that line a little bit as well.
Wait a minute, this is going entirely too far.
The Attitude Era represented the seismic shift into a more edgier program. It was such a unique time in the business. And there was one
All right, people, this is where we'll be next time we play. So thank you for watching,
the Attitude Era and that man.
and I hope you enjoyed it. And we will, I don't know if we'll play them all, but we'll play eventually again. Maybe Thursday, I don't know, but we'll see. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and come back the next time to watch. Bye-bye.